When news breaks in the US, 7 News is there. Atlantis could not be stopped.
Engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. The final liftoff of Atlantis.
So this is it. The shuttle blasts off for one last time. Atlantis will be gone in a blink of an eye, and we don't know when astronauts will take off from here again. This is the Egyptian side of the border, and we're now walking towards Libya. We're told there are no border officials across the other side.
We will kill him! Libya forever!
Residents of this city claim 300 died in the fighting, so this is part protest and part celebration of what they achieved. Over here, Johnny. It was difficult to know which direction it was coming from. We've just heard something over that ridgeline. We think it's the rebels firing back at Gaddafi forces. These men have just spotted 2 warplanes flying overhead, and they're nervous, and quite frankly, so are we. They fear they may be attacked at any time. Minutes later, a bomb hits a nearby hill.
Right, that's an aircraft.
People scurried for cover as others fumbled over their weapons. We've just heard that plane again, and everybody seems to think it's just about to attack. They're firing at it and people are fleeing everywhere. Dawn over the battlefield that Gaza has become. You can hear the constant thud of tanks and heavy exchange of gunfire between both sides. Hamas may be overpowered, but it's not giving up. Anger over the violence in Gaza has now spilled onto the streets of Jerusalem. You can see people throwing rocks at the police below. Many of them are just children. The smell of death was overwhelming, but beneath the rubble, a little heart was still beating.
There it is. Oh gosh, that is a monster tornado.
This could easily be a scene from Japan after the tsunami or New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. It's catastrophic. You can't tell street from street, let alone house from house. And this tornado continued 11 kilometres that way. Brits have an extra reason to celebrate the royal wedding. Even though we don't know the date yet, it's already been declared a public holiday. As incredible as this welcome to Canada has been, there must also be a tinge of sadness for Prince William. Today would have been his mother's 50th birthday. Norway will get some questions answered later today when Anders Breivik appears in court, promising to reveal his motivation. But nothing he can say will help ease the pain this country is feeling.
Mike, the anniversary passed peacefully, but were there any security scares?
Several, Chris, but the most notable came when 2 fighter jets were scrambled to escort an airliner. This is all that remains of the World Trade Center, both towers gone. Large explosions can still be heard as parts of the building fall down. Heaven help anyone inside. That's where the World Trade Center towers used to be. This is where the anger is greatest. Many of these people have been here 2 to 3 days without access to food or water. Some people have died, including, it's claimed, 1 small child.
We have just been informed that a child has passed back there.
Just how dangerous is it?
Well, it's still very dangerous here on the streets of New Orleans tonight. You get the feeling that police are certainly not in control. There's no doubt that the soldiers now rule the streets of Suva. The question is, how long can the government remain in power?
George Walker Bush.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
The reality remains that George Bush is the most unpopular president to start a second term. If Barack Obama does win his way to the White House, he won't have to travel very far to be reminded of the difficulties still facing African Americans. In the land of opportunity, a day many African Americans thought they'd never see. His is now one of the greatest American stories. 4 years ago, Barack Obama wasn't even a US senator. Tonight he stands on stage accepting his nation's highest honor, set to become the 44th President of the United States. See here, 2 boats have been sunk, but the fact that Francis is moving so slowly, just 10 kilometres an hour, is also bad news for Florida. Yes, Ian, 7 people have now been arrested here in the UK following that fiery Jeep crash at Glasgow Airport. Lying in state in his private chapel, the Pope's body. That's right, Anne, we've been assured that the Pope was comfortable when he passed away, but the last few days, again, testament to his fighting spirit. A student's mobile phone captured the madness. This is Norris Hall, where Cho did most of his deadly work. It's still taped off by police. It's almost inconceivable. From this vantage point, you can still see some of the cars that came perilously close to going over the edge. And just to show our influence here in Hollywood goes far deeper than just on-screen performances, 7 other Australians are also nominated for behind-the-scenes work. Since the wedding, Hollywood has been buzzing that their union was a sham. The report claims Hicks was treated more aggressively because he was white. This is the last road in Ronald Reagan's long journey, and thousands of Californians have come to remote spots like this one to say their goodbyes. It's not only very fast, it's also incredibly dangerous. 19 pilots have died in this event, and standing here, it's easy to see why. There used to be just over 1,000 pandas in the wild here in China, and researchers here are yet to determine what effect the earthquake here had on their population. Today, our Olympians got to see this country's greatest architectural achievement. Aussie! Aussie! One of the 7 wonders of the world. This time next week, these young Aussies will be back at home ready to celebrate their achievements with the rest of the nation. Win or lose, what they've experienced here will form lifelong memories.